I've been doing this 2 years. Hello, hello. Yep, see? So literally what you're hearing is what I said 10 seconds ago. Hey everybody, it's Mike Meyers and welcome to the, goodness sakes, it is Monday edition of Ask Mike Anything. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies on Comptia certifications. Now we concentrate on A+, Net+, and Security+, but we can also go to other Comptia certifications, IT fundamentals, we got you covered, and even discuss certifications outside of the IT world. We can also talk about tech, which I'm always glad to do. The only downside to that is this is always a tricky place to go. Mike, I'm having a problem because it's really a one-way conversation as far as I can tell. So anyway, folks, the goal here is that you ask me questions and I answer them. We start here at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we will go till 3 o'clock Central Standard Time or until the questions run out. So either way, pardon me, we're good. Now, to ask me questions, just type them into the, as you can tell, everybody's monitor is to the right? So go ahead and just type your questions right into the chat window. Now, one of the things you might want to do up at the top here in YouTube, at the top of your chat window, it says Top Chat. Hit the pull down and change that to Live Chat. We are going to be giving away practice questions today, one set of practice questions, and we'll also be giving away one Comptia voucher that works for pretty much any Comptia certification. So it might help you if you change it from Top Chat to Live Chat. That's all I'm saying there. So welcome aboard. Oh, this is Old Home Week. Santy 24/7 365. I haven't seen you for a while. You doing all right, man? TD Washington, good to see you. CW Hamster. TD Washington. You and I needed to talk about something. Dave Rush will remind me here in a second. He's so good about that stuff. Okay, great. All right, so basically what we're going to be doing here is I'm just looking to the right and I'm going to be looking for questions. A couple of things I do want to mention. We had a big revelation today, or I had one, and that is I was working on my A+ book. Maybe sometime in the future I'll need to update it, hypothetically. And I was going through it, and one of the things I do in power supplies is I talk about fan controls. And the more fans you have, the more you want controls on them. Case fans and CPU fans and what other fans you might have. So I fired up my all-micro speed fan, tool I've been using now for probably 10 years, on a Ryzen system, and it didn't work right. Now, I'd noticed it not working on a couple of systems, but speed fan doesn't work on absolutely everything, so I've been ignoring it, and that was a mistake because I think speed fan is dead. I hope it's not, but it doesn't look like there's been any substantial updates since mid-2020. Which isn't that far away, but still, and did a little R&D, and it seems that other people agree with me that speed fan is dead. Now look, that's not good. The reason that I don't like that is speed fan was always a good hardware info, a lot of good hardware information tools out there, but speed fan could detect and in most cases control my fans. I could set a manual control on them, which is just very convenient if you want to sometimes mess with, especially a new system, you're trying to figure it out, to be able to move the fans manually from within a Windows environment is very, very, very convenient. It did that. It also had really good information about SMART technology for hard drives. Now I know SMART is fading out, but it's still on the Comptia A+. And I like to show it to people, and SpeedFan was always a good tool for that. So I'm kind of out of tools right now, so I've been setting out at APB. If you know about a good Windows-based tool, and I know about HW Info, folks, so don't tell me about that one. If you're aware of a good tool that will recognize all my fans and allow me to control them, other than HW Info, because I know that one, let me know about it. And don't go doing searching. If you don't have one, I I've already searched for the stuff that you'd be looking for. So I know a lot of you guys are good techs and have this stuff off the top of your head. So we got it out there just in case. Yeah, disappointing. Some of these tools that you really start to count on over time, and then all of a sudden they disappear like that. Hope that never happens with Wireshark. It won't. Okay, so how are we doing? We got the usual crowd here. It's good to see all the usual gang. Andrew Hutt's good to see you, man. Who else is in here? Who's Dave Rush? I'm kidding. Alan Duggan, way up at the top. Siegfried, way, way, way at the top. Tolowit, I have for the first time in my life, sorry folks, if you're new here especially, I got some inside messages here. Tolowit, I spun up my first hunter ever in World of Warcraft, and I'm having so much fun, I'll never use anything again. I think Somali's here. Good to see you, man. Saf mode. I think I said Saf mode already. I'll say it again. What's the big deal? Victor Lombardo. Victor, were you here before? Your name doesn't ring a bell, but we get lots of folks, and I apologize if I don't recall sometimes. All right. So anyway, I'm taking a little peek here. I'm just looking for questions. All right. Matus Riska. Oh, I hope I'm pronouncing your name halfway right. Hi, Mike. Not sure if it is part of the A+ exam, but I've always had some gaps in this. What is the difference if I access share folder with a $sign or without it? Thanks. Okay, so what you're talking about is in Windows, if you take a look at all your shares, like if you do a net view command from a command line, I'm showing my age here. There's other ways to do it. See if I can pull it up real quick. Bear with me a second. NetView doesn't like to work like it used to, but you never know. Sometimes you're lucky. Just gonna let this go for a second. So like you'll see a folder called like your C drive, but it's called $C. What you're looking at there, those are called system shares. System shares are designed to be used by non-people or applications that aren't started by people, stuff that's started by a system so it has access to it. That's all it means. Now, what was your question? What is the difference if I access share folder with a $sign or without it? So normally you shouldn't have to ever access it with it. System shares are pretty much unique only for system access. I've certainly accessed system shares that way. Yep, it blew up. Yeah, no big surprise there. I got to think about this. The net command doesn't like to run on domains that much, so especially with Windows 10, Windows 11. So anyway, that's what it is. The system share, it's a $C, $D, that kind of a thing. And we tend to not use those and just let the system get in there. Siegfried Vanderwee. Oh my God, no, Mike is a hunter. I used to be a hunter in the real world, but I don't know, I got bored. Like I'd go hunt ducks, right? And hunting ducks, you have to get up really early, and it's southern Texas, so it's not cold here. It's just wet and full of mosquitoes, and it's not the most fun thing. So I figured I was paying about $150 a pound for my duck, and I kind of hung up my gun on that. Still got it. Victor Lombardo, still relatively new to the channel. Yeah, well, welcome, man. That's what we're here for. TC, hello, hello. Alan Owens, all the way in Australia. Azira Best. Hey, Mike, I'm taking my A+ Core 1 in 2 weeks. Cool. I've completed your Udemy course and doing practice exams. Any more advice? No. Azaria, I'm so nervous. Azaria, the number one reason people fail Comptia exams is test anxiety. So cool out. Let me tell you something, Azaria. You know what happens if you fail? You just retake it. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah, it costs some time as you restudy. Yeah, it costs money as you have to, sign up for the exam again. But that's all it is. A lot of people look at certification exams like they're college entrance exams. They're not. I'm sorry, I have failed at least 1/3 of all the tests I've ever taken. So please don't panic about that. Just get back in there, reset and do it again. The one thing I will tell you is that in order to pass any IT certification, I feel you need 3 things. You need a book you need a book, you need a video or an instructor, and then number 3, you need practice questions. So you never have enough practice questions. If you've got 2 weeks left, you should pick up somebody's practice questions. I sell practice questions. I think they're outstanding, but you don't have to get mine. There's lots of other folks out there who have good practice questions. Mine are better. And on top of that, Azaria, this week, we have a discount. Dave Rush, what's the discount? Azario, just watch the screen, and Dave Rush will put a post up. So basically, we got a deal where you get a book. It sounds like you got the video, so you need a book and practice questions. We have a bundle where you get the ebook. I'm an ebook person, and you get practice questions bundled together for 50% off. And in order to take advantage of that deal, you just go over to www.totalsem.com. Head over to our merchant area, pick up an A+ ebook, and then pick up the A+ practice questions, and you get 50% off. So that's a great deal, and please let Dave Rush, if he hasn't already, put it in there. All right. Simple explanation of a subnet on a router. So there's no such thing as a subnet on a router. Subnets are local. A subnet is just a LAN, okay? So what happens if you've got a big IP address, okay? So let's say you've got 4 locations, and each one of those locations requires like 6 public-facing servers. So you need like 24 IP addresses, right? So what an ISP is going to do is, instead of giving you like a WAC24 address, like I'm making stuff up, like 11.12.13 WAC24, they're going to take that 11.12.13 and then subnet it into like 11.12.13 from 1 to 62, 11.12.13 from 64 to 128. Get the idea? And we'll break it up into these groups. So a subnet is a LAN. So instead of having one LAN with 11.12.13 WAC24, you have 4, in this particular example I'm doing off my head very, very quickly, 4 subnets that allow you to share public IP addresses. The chances of you ever setting up a subnet in your house is pretty much 0. In our homes, we just use private IP addresses with 192.168. You can use an entire 192.168.4 whatever, and because it's private, you can use it, and because you're hiding behind a NAT router, you can use private IP addresses. The moment you turn off NAT, you can't use private IP addresses like 192.168. The moment you turn it off, and the reason you're turning it off, you're not turning it off at home for some fun reason, you're turning it off so that you can set up some web servers, for example. And you could set up like a few web servers in a little subnet that you pay for from the ISP. If you're just going to work out of your house for the rest of your life, you're not going to really run into subnetting. The people who run into subnetting are the people who run data centers. The people who run into subnetting are internet service providers. The people who run into subnetting are enterprise level customers. If you want to get motivated to understand why we need subnetting, remember, most home networks just have a little NAT router, and then you can use a private IP address behind it. We use subnetting today because we have public-facing servers. Got it? You have public-facing servers. They can't use 192.168s, but you think you can go to your ISP and say, I want the 11.22.33 WAC24 subnet. If that was even available, a full 256 address network, It would cost you like $1,000 a month just for the honor of having public IP addresses. Just for the honor of having public IP addresses. Pretty much every ISP on earth today breaks them down into little tiny subnets for 3 or 4 computers because that's what most people need. You got 2 or 3 public facing servers and then you have a router and then in that router you set that up as NAT. Get the idea? I can go on and on. I see Dave Rush actually put a link in there, so you might want to check that link out as well too. David Zientro likes Speed Fan too. Yeah, I'm liking it too, but ish. Hey, Malibu 8800. Good to see you again, man. I'm taking my Network Plus test next week. Outstanding. Study for my Security Plus. Thank you. Oh, that's right, Malibu. You won some vouchers. See, this is the great secret here. We've only got like, we have like, what, 40 people at any given peak moment as it goes up and down? And, which is fine. I don't care. But the reality is that we give away, well, we have a competition for a Comptia voucher every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Half the people on this channel have already won so much stuff that they've been what I call Mohand. To be Mohand, that's from my buddy David Mohan. To be Mohand means you have won so much that we're not going to let you win anymore. So nobody loves my humor as much as I do. So if you're new here, the odds of you winning a voucher are like ridiculously good. In fact, that's a problem. I should start making you guys do some marketing here, but I'm here. Saf Mo, can you talk a little bit about the difference between... Saf, I can't. The difference between NMS and SIEM. Because in order to, in my opinion, to understand the difference, you have to talk a little bit. But Saf, let me... Dave Rush, can we put that one down as a potential conversation? That would be an interesting presentation to do like a NMS. Well, I'd want to do a lot more than just NMS and SIEM. You know, we could throw a lot of stuff in here. That would make it interesting. Saf, I'm going to have to delay on that, and I apologize. It's a good question, but you deserve better. Mike, do you prefer MSI or ASUS? In general, I tend to go with ASUS. I'm not against MSI boards or MSI product in general. I have a really good MSI home router right now, 802.11ax, Wi-Fi 6, whatever. But I tend to go more towards ASUS as a general rule. Matush Rishka. Matush, I'll try again, man, but don't hold your breath. The lawn mower. Hi, Mike. Thank you for what you do. I am currently going through your Udemy course for Network Plus and reading through your Network Plus book along with it. Good. These have been great resources. Cool. Elbow, look at you, man. Siegfried Vandery. Hi, Mike. I run a Microsoft 2022 data center at home. Good God. Even I've never run that. I think the most advanced version of Windows I've run so far is just the regular 2016, I don't know what you call it, the regular one. Regular Windows Server. Carlos Cabrera, what do you think about taking the Google IT support and then go for the A+ certification? Is it okay or not worthy? Carlos, I love anything. I got no problem with the Google IT cert other than I don't know of anybody who advertises jobs that mentions it. There's lots of entry-level jobs out there that mention the Comptia A+, but none of them mention the Google IT support. So I think that speaks volumes right there. But I've actually looked at the certification, and it looks good. I'm not against the concept, just nobody knows it. Sonrix. Mike, does Comptia Certs order matter? Yes. I'm taking CYSA Plus and then Security Plus. Will it conflict on the renewal? Will it conflict? I'm not sure what you mean by the renewal, but I will tell you this. CYSA Plus is much more advanced than Security Plus. Highly technical. I failed. You want to talk about failing? I failed that thing twice. I go in cocky is half my problem. I don't think most people would be successful taking the CYSA Plus if they haven't already taken Security Plus. Now, keep in mind, like if you're a really good network person, good security person, you've done some pen test work, or maybe you've done some basic forensics, something like that, there's no law against taking CYSA before Security Plus. It just, I've literally never ever heard of anybody doing this before you, right here, right now. Swing, baby. Swing, baby. Nobody even knows who that is. It was someone called Sammy Davis Jr. Victor Lombardo, I was considering purchasing your lab tool. Now, Victor, that's really not for individuals. I think the tools that you're talking about is part of the I have forgotten the name of our product. Is our hardware product total? I can't believe I've totally gone blank. Oh, well. But yeah, no, don't do that. You don't need to. Looking for questions. You guys are all talking to each other, which is good. Samuel at 2:14 p.m. Hi, Mike. I'm going to Votech to study IT in the fall. Good. I want to get an entry-level help desk job. What IT position would be best after help desk? So, Samuel, I don't understand. I'm going to Votech to study IT in the fall, and I want to get an entry-level help. Okay. Does this Votech help with placement? Does this Votech school, do they give you certifications as well as the diploma from the Votech school? Why are you going to Votech school? I love Votech school, but the primary reason anybody, and I got to talk about U.S. here because I'm not super familiar with overseas. Here in the U.S., obviously we have universities, 4-year bachelor's degrees, but also in the U.S. we have a lot of what are known as associates programs, community colleges, stuff like that. 2-year associates programs that are very popular. And here in Texas, people with a 2-year computer technology degree are very much sought after. You know, you guys got to keep in mind, we make oil right here. And at what's it around like $100 a barrel right now? We're looking for work. Most technical schools, and different technical schools have different things, but they can be as low as 200, but up to like 1,300 hours of study. The main reason I go to a school, I want people to go to school, is that school will guarantee a job, or at least guarantee a placement. Very few Votech schools do that, but quite a few do here in the United States. If you were going to a Votech school that had no help with placement at all, that would be a big red flag. And look, I'm not against paying a few $1,000s for a good school, but they don't necessarily guarantee you a job, but you're going to have a placement department in the school that's going to be helping you look for work. And they should be aggressive about it. The school should have relationships. So what I'm telling you is it almost sounds like you're going to Votech and then you're going to get a help desk job and then you're going to start going for certs. I mean, if the school will help you, go for it. But remember, you're taking certifications to help you get a job. You take a Comptia A+ certification for the job you're anticipating. And I would assume that your A+ would be what got you in the door for some little entry level, midnight till 8 in the morning kind of help desk job, because that's what you're going to get at first, by the way. That's $16 an hour, but you move out of that stuff pretty quick. So is that okay or not worthy? Carlos, I'd have to know so much more. What is the name of this school? Does it have a good reputation? You know, stuff like that. Oh, sorry, I said Carlos, but I meant Samuel. Sorry about that. Siegfried, hey Mike. Data center, got it. Christina, good to see you again, Christina. Do you prefer to zip tie Velcro or twisty tie bundles of cords for storage? Oh my God. No, I just keep putting stuff on my desk. I have this huge L-shaped desk. There's no more room left on it anywhere. Because putting things away, twist ties, what are these words you speak? I'm kidding. Andrew Hutz, what CPU are you running? On this system right here, I need SpeedFan to let me know. What am I running on here? Some kind of Ryzen. I can't see it. I got a Cooler Master liquid cooler on here, and my hands are broken. I don't want to run anything to make the quick answer. Tom Pinkerton, Mike gets very excited about subnets. Tom, the reason I get a little wound up when people talk about subnets is that, number one, if you don't understand why subnets exist, you're always going to be confused. Why go buy a WAC24 subnet for $1,000 a month? That's not even the monthly connection charge. You understand? You're paying $1,000 a month just for the honor of keeping these IP addresses. Might be a little cheaper depending on what country you're in. But when you have to take a network and instead of having 256 addresses, you only need 4 or whatever, subnetting starts to make a lot more sense. You understand why people do it. It's because public IP addresses are precious. And that's why subnetting takes place. Subnetting still takes place with IPv6. It happens all the time. In fact, subnetting is, I do a big long speech on IPv6. And one of the main things I like about IPv6 is that it supports this thing called aggregation. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it makes life a lot easier. So subnetting is a real thing. But you have to stop thinking about your house and your little home router with running NAT, where you have just one public IP address on the WAN side and then some private IP address range. Once you understand why you're doing this, so it's really expensive to get 256. So if I can get it chopped down to where I'm just getting there are lots of subnets that only have 2 addresses in them, folks. One address for one public-facing machine of some kind, and then another address for hooking into a router, which is NATed and then connects in. In that case, see, that confuses people. You say, well, Mike, I already have a router. Why do I have to go through that? Well, because you need public-facing servers. If you don't have public-facing servers, you probably will never do a subnet in your life. Howdy from Henderson, Jay Veller, Henderson, Nevada? I've been there. JM, is it a Bastion host the same as a network IDS or IPS? When would you use each? No. So a Bastion host is nothing more than an edge device that stands as a guard and almost certainly is running a robust firewall. IDS and IPS are tools that are normally inside your network that are looking for intruders. So if the Bastion host fails, then the IDS is monitoring your network internally and looking for trouble. And IDS almost don't exist anymore. They're almost all IPS, intrusion prevention systems. So different animals. One looks inside your network mainly looking for trouble, although there can be host-based intrusion detection systems. They're usually network-based. And a Bastion host sits on the edge. When a Bastion host doesn't do its job, then IPS hopefully does. Heath Dotson at 216. Does the old Net Plus book apply to the new test? No. No, sorry, Heath. I guess you're talking about the N10007, the old test, and the new one being the N10008. Any major changes? Yeah, there's a lot of changes, Heath. The network, the big change between what you call the old one and the new one is huge. I mean, just the addition of data centers alone makes the new Net Plus, in my opinion, more challenging. But here's the thing, Heath, you don't have to take the newest exam. In fact, most of the time, it's a really stupid idea to take the nearest exam. And Heath, I'm not picking on you. I said stupid. I mean, triggered. It's not what I mean. I like you, Heath. You and me, come on. Vietnam? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what that means. Anyway, where am I going? Oh, so like right now, you can still take the old Network Plus through June of this year. I think it's like through June, might even be July. And if you want to take the old test, take it. Very few people care what exam you've taken. Most people care what date you've taken something, but almost nobody, I said this once and somebody goes, wow, Bob Thompson of Walla Walla, Washington was really upset. It's like, well, we should kill Bob. But I'm kidding. But most people don't care. They want to know what date you took an exam. Abu Bakr, hey man, good to see you, man. I have a question, Mike. Can we telnet our SSH home router instead of using GUI? Depends on the home router. A lot of them you can. Odds are good that your little run-of-the-mill home router is not going to be able to do that for you. However, there are firmware tools with names like OpenWRT and Tomato. There's more. That's the two that I can think of quickly. And what they do is they replace the GUI on your home router with another GUI, but they also include things like SSH and Telnet support, which isn't on a lot of home routers. A lot of home routers, the only way to get to them is through the GUI. So, and other ones you can get to through SSH. Literally, tell me which one you're talking about, and we'll do a search on the model number, and I'll do some research and find it whether it does or not. However, people like OpenWRT and to a lesser extent Tomato create firmwares. And this is the reason why people change the firmware on their home routers, is because these third-party firmwares add features like SSH support into a home router. So you might want to look into these. Before you go any further, if you try a tool like OpenWRT and turn your router into an ashtray, don't blame me. Anytime you're updating firmware, there's I don't know if it's a high degree of risk, but it's definitely an Apollo 13 kind of situation. You have to be very, very careful. Failure to be careful means that you could literally turn your hardware into junk. You've been warned. I update my home routers all the time, and I've lost a few, but it's been a few years. Who doesn't Tom? Patricia Grace. I don't Tom Patricia. I don't know what that means. That just made me laugh. Alex, there we go. Hey, there she is. Mike, you still owe me a stream on Comptia IT career mode. Oh my God, I'd forgotten about that, Alex. I do owe you one. Dave Rush, do you remember? This could have been a year ago. Alex had a question about certification pathways. I mean, Comptia has one. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's okay. But we could definitely do something like IT security. Starting to get a stack of these things. Elbow, how are you liking the 3080 Ti? It's still in the box. I haven't popped it yet. We've just been real busy here. So, yeah, unfortunately, I got... Dr. Larkenstein. Larkenstein! My father worked for your grandfather. Of course, the rates are higher. It's a great movie called Young Frankenstein. Watch it. I swear to God, I'm going to do something for the under 40 crowd that they desperately need. I've been talking about this for years. I want to throw like a party at my house one Saturday a month. and just show movies that you people have never seen. You know what terrifies me? How many of you out there have not seen the incredible movie Lawrence of Arabia with Peter O'Toole? You haven't seen it? Oh my gosh, what a great movie. What else would be another one? The 7-Ups, The In-Laws, the original with Alan Arkin. Just movies like that, people don't even see them. What do you mean there's no explosions? I need some guy who's got horns on his helmet and a tight outfit. It's like, okay. But Alex, I do owe you a stream. We'll get on that. And Alex, speaking of streams, see, we have to talk you into joining me one of these days. You're too shy. Andrew Hutt said he's seen Lawrence of Arabia. All right, so guys, one of the things I do want to mention is that we, how are we doing on time? 2:30. I'm going to have to start doing our giveaways. We have a Discord channel. Well, we don't have a Discord channel, but there is a unofficial, Mike Meyers unofficial Discord channel. One of the problems with this AMA format is that you can type questions into a chat window, but you can't do a lot more than that. So originally my buddy Jose Braden had set this up. I'm not sure who's running this one, but I have no control on it. So if anything is said on there, I got no control. It's a pretty good group of people. But anyway, the bottom line is that it's a really good place to show up if you want to talk to me about more extended topics. I will be on the Discord channel today after this talk. Give me 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops after our AMA ends today, and I will be on the Discord channel. Siegfried, you got a question for me? I'll be on there and we'll check it out. Anyone is welcome to join. It's starting to really gain its own life, I guess is the word. We've got a lot of great techs. I am by far not the best tech who shows up on that Discord channel. So if you're looking for support and help, I can't recommend it enough. The link is in the chat window, and I hope to see you guys there. Omer Nathan, hello dear Mike. Hello dear Omer. Microsoft Windows Standard Edition server. That's what it was, Siegfried. Thank you. I'd forgotten. Alan Owens, for home and lab messing. I agree, Alan Owens. Omer Nathan, I have the CCNA and you're going for the CCNP. The reason you're going for the CCNP is because you want to support Cisco products. In my opinion, there's no other reason. You can get a CCNA and not be a Cisco person, but if you're going past a CCNA, it's because you intend to be doing a full-time job that will include working on Cisco routers. And if you got a CCNP, you might as well start working towards your CISSP2. See, that's why I need Dave Rush, like right here, CCIE. Which is a hairy cert, but a good one. Saf Mode, do you know about CWNA? I know a lot about CWNA, Saf. Enjoy wireless technology and looking for a certificate to help me solidify my knowledge. So CWNA is one of many different certifications that are administered by the Certified Wireless. I forgot the name of the organization, but they have a lot. They have a wireless security cert. That is absolutely amazing. I actually, like 15 years ago, I was asked to write a book for those guys, and back then I didn't have the skill set, and I failed. It's one of the few times I failed on a book was with those guys. I can't remember their name. They're out of Georgia, Marietta, Georgia? Oh, I can't think of his name. They're great certs. They're well recognized within the wireless world. If you're going for those types of certs, you're going to be going in and installing wireless networks for people. And that's very much enterprise level stuff. Trey Dilla, is there a tool to remember port numbers? You guys always tell that to me. No, I worry when people say stuff like that. Because when people want to like memorize the OSI 7-layer model, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I can't remember what the term is, You know, every good boy does fine for musical scales. There's a term for that. Anyway, I've never been a fan of that kind of stuff. It's not a learning methodology that I use. I'll use it for concept stuff like this, but when it's definitional things, then I just make a point to use them constantly. Play with Wireshark for an hour a day for a month. You'll get those port numbers down faster than you can possibly wrap your head around. But no, Trey, I am not aware of a tool that will help you out. All right, we got to get started. It is 2:40, and I need to give some stuff away here. So let's get into this. So we're going to, for starters, guys, we're going to be giving away access, 90-day access to the anything in our library that you want to practice on. So we've got lots and lots of different products. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm very quickly coming up with a question. Any of you guys watch this, you know that I'm terrible. Ooh. Ooh. This is a good and interesting question. All right, so today's question, and remember, we are competing for 90-day access to the practice questions of your choice, okay? And so we're going to go with Network Plus N10008 today. So here's how this works. Number one, this competition is not fair. So if you're one of those types of people who gets all BH because things didn't go quite your way, well, then don't compete, okay? This thing is so heavily weighted towards people winning that it always amazes me when people get a little crabby. So if you're the crabby type, don't even compete, okay? It is a multiple choice question I'm about to put on the screen. There will be only one answer. The first person to write the answer in a way that I understand it wins, okay? Also, do keep in mind, folks, that just because you think you're first, that's not necessarily how it shows up on my screen, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into this. Also, look, if you win a lot, don't compete or just put a pass in there. Be nice. This is really for the new folks more than anybody else, but you know, it's all good. So let's go ahead and this question's wrong. It's all right. We're going to go ahead and do this question anyway. You guys ready? Here we go. Let's do this. All right. In a DNS system, which record type will be used for mail transfer if an MX record is unavailable? So somebody's trying to send some email to another email server, and for some reason there isn't an MS record for mail.totalsem.com or whatever it might be. In that case, which one of these four types of records will be tried first? I'll give you a clue. It's very generic. All right, so where are we at here? I'm giving people time to look. All right, so we're around 2:24. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Joshua Sherman. No. I'm giving you guys a moment. No one has said the right answer. So everyone who's answered up to this point is wrong. All right, it looks like a couple answers are popping up. This one's pretty straightforward. It's just an A record. Hey, Dave Rush, please write down 43712. Here, I'll write it down for you. There's a small problem with this question, Dave Rush. I'm not going to put it back up because I know the right answer is A, so we're going to stick with it. But this question says something a little different. It says the answer is A, but it says it's in the wrong spot. So we'll fix that. So the answer is A, and I believe the first person to say A is Samuel at 244. Samuel, congratulations. Samuel, you have won 90-day access to the practice questions of your choice. Samuel, check this out, man. Whoops. There we go. Samuel, in order to claim your prize, you need to send an email to Dave Rush. That's DAVER at TotalSim.com. Samuel, in the body of the email, number 1, put your YouTube name. That's Samuel. Number 2, put your email address. But Mike, I'm sending you an email. It has a return address. Just use that. Nope. If you do that, I'll throw it out. You got to put the email address in the body of the email you're sending me. And then number 3, tell us which practice exam you want. We got lots of them. So just let us know what you want, and we are there for you. So Samuel, congratulations. So you guys all pick canonical name. It's definitely not a PTR record, but canonical name? Could it be a canonical? So this question assumes IPv4 because it had a quadruple A record in there as well. I think, yeah. I'm sticking with the A. I like it. No. Nobody's screaming at me. Yes, wait, it was A. Yes, Tamber, it was A. JM, that is a hard question. It is a hard question, but it's a good one. CW Hamster's out the door later. All right. Gosh, it is 2:46. Did I skip past any questions? We still have a voucher to give away today, and we are going to do that within the next 15 minutes. Tom Pinkerton, Velcro ties are where it's at for network cable management. I'm not against Velcro, although I'm going to use a, what do you call it, for more permanent horizontal runs. Alan Owens, Velcro straps for cable. Yep. Christina Strickland, I've been finding cords tied together with yarn. Oh, man. Amiga, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen things stuffed together, how many dead critters I've pulled out of bundles, how many times I've grabbed a piece of wire, cable and discovered it was a snake in an exterior conduit. It goes on and on. Who am I ignoring? Carlos Cabrera, I'm from Katy, Texas. I know where that is. Jared Graham, my company calls it CGNAT. How is that different from PAT and otherwise? Give me a second here. Oh. Sure. Well, we can talk about that. So CGNAT stands for carrier grade NAT. I had to look it up. Carrier grade NAT, we have seen on and off. Right now it's more off than on because of IPv6, but there's lots of it out there. One place you see carrier grade NAT a lot is on smart devices. So I don't think that, I have AT&T, which I don't think uses it. So anyway, one of the things you can easily do is like look on the IP address on your phone. If you don't know how to do that, there's lots of little, for Android it's easier just to use a third-party app IP address or something like that. And if you suddenly notice that you've got a 10-dot address or something like that, you probably have, almost certainly have carrier grade NAT. Now, be careful here, folks. Remember, I'm not talking about the Wi-Fi that's built into this. I'm talking about the cellular WAN. When you're out in the middle of the desert and there's no wireless networks around, but there's a cell tower. That's your cellular LAN, okay? That has its own regular IP address. You take this phone and you walk it into an office or something and it finds a 802.11 network. That's a totally different animal. Don't get those confused. In fact, turn off the Wi-Fi on here so you can only use cellular. And you can still browse and stuff, right? It's because he has a legit IP address with it. Carrier grade networking was a lot more popular 10 years ago, mainly because we were really running out of IPv4 addresses in a big way. We have seen a lot of people move to, not so much in the United States, but like a lot in China, for example, a few other countries where they're moving to a pure IPv6 environment. They don't even run IPv4. It's not installed because they don't need it, you know. It works. So that's where we saw a lot of the carrier grade NAT. Sometimes it's called a walled garden because it allows whoever is providing your ISP a way to control what you're seeing. But that's what that means. So what was the other one? PAT. PAT is just, so carrier grade NAT could be, they could use PAT or SNAT or who knows. So carrier grade NAT just means really large scale NAT. That's all it means. Whether you're choosing to use PAT or static, which that sounds so bizarre, I couldn't even imagine, or whatever it might be, that whatever NAT they want to use. Most people who understand NAT, that's what Cisco calls PAT. Cisco's weird sometimes, man. That's all I can say about that. Oops, I completely thought, what are we talking about? Where is there? Oh, there you are. Okay. Whew. What is a unified threat management? It's like IDS combined with a firewall or something else. Unified threat management is pretty much anything people want it to mean. Anytime you take traditional stuff and you put it usually in like one really smart box with lots of sensors that you put all over the place, that's usually what we talk about, that type of unified threat management. Is it like an IDS? Unified threat management simply means to combine multiple ways of dealing with threats. One of those things is an IDS. Another one could be an IPS. Another one could be denial of service, like a Cloudflare. Another one could be watching for illicit wireless networks trying to punch into your network. There's lots of things. And there's a million different levels of it and a million different things. If you really want to get confused, take a look at the Wikipedia article on that. You can literally hear Wikipedia go, I don't know. Somali, there he is. Hi, Mike. You said once heat and pressure make diamonds. Yep. So is it better to schedule the exam or learn and when you are ready schedule the exam? It is better to schedule the exam. There's some risk to doing that because what if you're not ready? Well, that makes heat and pressure. At the front of all my books, I make a little table to give you some idea of how much time it's going to take you to study in hours. Like for A+, it's about 220 hours. And if you can only study 1 hour a week, then it's going to take you 220 weeks. You do the math. You figure it out. And but I do believe you should always schedule first, especially if you're the procrastinating type, because boy, that puts a lot of heat on you. Alan Owens, do you recommend a more business class router like an Edge router or UDM Pro for home and lab? You want to play? Sure. Ubiquiti makes some great little $80 super high-end, high bandwidth routers. I should keep one around here. I got a big old stack of them. But yeah, it's easy to do that. But I would definitely, Ubiquiti, oh, there's another really popular one. We mention it here all the time. I don't know what's wrong. I am forgetting everything today. But do I recommend a more business class router like an Edge router for home and lab? No, in general, I do not recommend one because it takes skill to get a more aggressive, more enterprise level router up and running. If you don't have that skill, then suddenly you can't get on the internet. But what I do see a lot of people do, and this is a good idea, is you take your little regular router, whatever you have, and then you plug that new super router into that router. And then that way you can play with this. And if you blow this up, you can just plug your computer or wirelessly, however you do it, plug it into your regular router and get right back to it. Siegfried, it controls the new Discord channel. Okay, I didn't know that. Christina Strickland, I'm 30. Oh my God, you're like, Christina, you are only 4 years older than my daughter. A little kid. Your wrists are still cartilage. I've seen both Young Frankenstein and Lawrence of Arabia. He was my boyfriend. Why, thank you, Herr Doctor. I just announced my 14-year-old niece to the old horror movies. Always good. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's always good. I remember I wouldn't let my daughter watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail until she was like 13 years old. And then I finally let her watch it, and she looks at me and she goes, well, now I know where all your songs come from. Dagger, you're missing great movies, man. That's all I can say. So Matush, I understand, because I'm a Trekkie. It's always frustrating for me at 240. I can't wait to make a Trekkie. Be prepared for frustration. My grandsons, I was going to make them fall in love with trains. My grandsons hate trains. I'm like, what? Yeah, me and Sheldon Cooper. Fun with trains. Yeah, I'm a nerd. What can I say? All people should torrent nude downloads. There's Jared. That's a good one. Please do not throw away. Okay, I remember these now. Thank you, guys. All right, we've got another giveaway, and I've only got 4 minutes left, so I got to get on it here. All right, guys, we're going to have another competition right now. In this competition, we are competing for a Comptia voucher, which could be worth up to $400 depending on what Comptia exam you're looking for. Folks, these are given to us by Comptia. We have no control over this, but whoever wins, Comptia has sent lots of vouchers, so hopefully things will be going good. I'm looking for a question. Bear with me. Oh, this is interesting. I want to make sure I got the answer right. Yay! All right, guys, this is another multiple choice question. Whoever wins this is going to get a Comptia voucher. Now, a couple of rules here. Rule number one, yeah, it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. Number two, if you win a lot, like Malibu 8800, don't even bother typing an answer other than hello, because Malibu's an example of somebody who's won twice and they're out of here. New people, this is your opportunity, okay? Old people, you can play, but I'm going to lean towards somebody I haven't seen before. So with that attitude in mind, let's go ahead and start this. Dun, 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 dun. This is another Network Plus question, so be ready. And this one's interesting. What are reasons to have two duplicate pieces of equipment that can be used in conjunction? Select two. So I'm going to need two answers from you here, folks. And remember, do not type A, B, C, D, and E. You have to actually write out the answers. Guys, many of you do not write A, B, C, and D. Write out the answers. All right, we got people typing. All right, so I think it's going to be WiMAX and CARP, right? No, it's not going to be that. All right, folks, I'm pretty sure it's going to be B and C. Wait, I actually checked this one, so. Oh, by the way, folks, what you're actually looking at here is the Total Tester product itself, which we like. All right, so the answer is high availability and fault tolerance. Let's think about this for a minute. So we're talking about two duplicate pieces of equipment. Where do you see two pieces of equipment? How about a server with two power supplies? One of the reasons you do a server with two power supplies is because you need fault tolerance. High availability. If something dies, we have another one there. So high availability, for example, we have two network cards in a server. We tend to do this kind of stuff in physical servers. So in that case, we've got, if one of the network cards dies, the other one's there. So high availability also comes into play. All right, so we got B and C. Oh, Dave Rush, you got to help me here. Oh, goodness. This might take a minute. All right. Tamber Squirrel. I love your impressions. Thank you, Tamber. You guys. Storyteller Mace, Dagger, Korzaka, Alan. Oh, wait, he didn't. I'm not going to blame Alan. Joshua. All you guys writing this stuff out. Okay. I think I got a winner. Hold on. We got to go through these little sillinesses here. I need to talk to my buddy Dave Rush. Yeah, Dave, I don't want to use, sorry, Storyteller. You were first, but you didn't. One moment, please. Waiting for judges' scores. I think I know who it is, but let's see if Dave Rush agrees with me. Okay, so we're going to give this one to, you ready? Joshua Sherman. Joshua, you were not the first person to get the answer right, but you were the first person to do as I said and not just typing A, B, C, or D. Joshua, congratulations to you. Big round of applause. You have won a free Comptia voucher. So Joshua, you might say to yourself, well, Mike, how do I get this voucher? Well, I'm trying to break things. Here we go. So Joshua, in order to, it was Joshua? What was it? What was his name? Yeah, I got it. So Joshua, in order to claim your prize, you need to send an email to Dave Rush. Joshua, hope you got a pen on you, brother. It's davr@totalsem.com. Oh, by the way, don't panic. Dave is going to put all this into the chat window, so you can get it that way too. Be sure to, in this email for Dave Rush, put your YouTube name, just like it shows in chat. Put an email address in the body of the email. Number 3, use the name used on previous Comptia certifications. If this is your first certification, then just give us your legal name. Next, put your country of residence, and if you're in the USA, add your state. Next, add the country where you will take the exam. Some people live in small countries, live in one, take an exam in another. Nothing wrong with that, but we got to know ahead of time. And then last, the exact exam number. You have to tell us which exam you want to take. So don't just type, I want the A+. You have to put like the A+ 2201002 or whatever it might be. And that way we make sure we get the right thing. So congratulations to you. Now, for those of you who didn't win, folks, there's not that many people here. Half of them have won a bunch and they've, out of guilt, they don't even compete anymore. So you new folks, just keep showing up. We do this 3 times a week, okay? Monday, Wednesdays is the Mike Meyers AMA, and on Friday, Dave Rush, DRAMA, drama, and Dave Rush has his on Friday. Dave Rush does, he concentrates on Raspberry Pi. It's not a Raspberry Pi course, although we're using Raspberry Pis. Dave Rush loves Raspberry Pis, and he has the philosophy, why would you spend $1,500 on a system when you can get everything you need to learn A+, Net+, Security Plus topics with a tool that costs $35? And that's what Dave is all about. If you're looking for inexpensive tools to help you on your studies, Dave is an absolute must-have right here on the Total Seminars channel at YouTube, and that is Fridays at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. So congratulations to you guys. All right, I got to get out of here. Congratulations to our winners. If you didn't win, come on back. I am going to be on the what should we call it channel, and What is wrong with my brain today? Discord, there we go. Yes, so I'll be on the Discord channel here in about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes top, probably close to 5. Siegfried, was it, who had a question for me? Well, we're going to find out what it is, and I will be on there, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Folks, I am out the door. Y'all be good. This is your Mike Myers saying bye-bye. Bye-bye.